Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very special fifth.
Is it really the fifth?
It's our fifth eggnog extravaganza holiday jamboree. I'm not really drinking eggnog, but I am
That's not
drinking something
eggnog.
festive.
I should show my cup and not the entire bottle like I'm a eggnog glutton. I am, though.
Well, the reason why I'm not drinking eggnog is because we purchased eggnog for the show, but we purchased it last week, and
Oh, you
now,
drank it all.
yeah.
No, I bought this and was specifically like, do not touch this until my show. And my husband's like, oh, you don't need to buy me anything, but I bought him like decoy beer just in case. Like, here's your beer.
Here's your
It's for
beer.
you. Don't touch my nog.
Don't touch the knob. So everybody, if you are just tuning in and you're like, who are these people? What is happening? I'm your host, Jennifer Ann Gordon. This is Vox Vomitus. I am the author of Pretty Ugly, The Japanese Box, and Other Stories, and the coming soon Perfect Wives, Perfect Lies.
You have something to show for that. Do you want to show that now or later?
I'll do it later. Joining me today, obviously, is my co-hostess with the mostest, my holiday elf, Allison Martine Hubbard, author of the Bourbon Books.
These light up, sort of. Not very well.
Yeah.
It's daylight. It doesn't work.
And I'm like, I've got a ring light on, so you can't really see my Christmas lights.
But we're festive. Just believe that we're festive.
Oh, the magic of
messing with your lights.
Yeah, I'm like,
for everybody who's listening on Spotify, they have no idea what's going on with us mugging with our various drinks, lights, decorations. I am wearing an ugly Christmas sweater that I actually stole from my husband. You can't see until I do this, but it says probably just going to jingle some of the way. I'm tired.
I like that. So my original plan was to I had a Christmas t-shirt. It did not work. You couldn't see any of it, so it just looked like I was wearing like a man's t-shirt. I should have brought it in the room so I could hold it up. It does say the only thing I want for Christmas is a new president.
I think that's a valid thing. I mean, I was going to get to our wish list later, but that is a good one that I think all of us want. Anybody watching this is probably like, yeah, we need that. Please.
Most people watching it. Yeah.
And until then,
drink it up. So I skipped the t-shirt. I wore a little sparkly shirt that has puff sleeves. You can't see, but I'm wearing a very special sweater that one of our biggest fans, she watches the show religiously. She might be watching it now. If you are, Amanda, my friend Amanda made me this gorgeous sweater. She came over to my house last night. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And it's gorgeous. It's like this long, cozy cardigan with some little thumb holes, which I love. And you can't see, but it has matching ankle warmers.
Are you wearing those right now?
Yes, I am.
Later, we might need to have you show some ankle. You're like, no, we will not. We will not.
No, we will not.
Because
the pants are not good.
I'll just. It's hard to get my foot. I can get my foot up, but that's about as far as we go. And otherwise, I'll fall back in this chair, knock this over. The cats will go running. It will be a very different kind of Christmas.
Yeah, I'll be like, that's the Christmas that Allison went to the hospital because she slipped a disc in her back.
Look, we've gone to the Christmas hospital before. It is not fun doing the Christmas hospital. Not for me. I've been sick on Christmas, but we've done a day of Christmas. Does this child have a concussion, or is he throwing up from reasons unrelated to his head injury? Stomach virus. It was fine.
Yeah. Well, that's, that's good. All things considered. So I'm going to take a little sip. Let's cheers. I'm going to cheers to you. Cheers.
Yeah, we can't actually do that against our computers because I'll end up with eggnog and bourbon all over my keyboard, and I think that's a bad idea to do that.
It is a bad idea, and everything will be sticky.
But we are here to celebrate our eggnog extravaganza, and I was asking, like, I know we've done the show for 4 years, or for 5 years. I just didn't know if this was like our fifth eggnog extravaganza because I don't know when we started doing that particular.
I know.
It's about eggnog.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was our first year.
Yeah, it sounds about right because
I
mean, neither one of us really needs excuses to drink nonsense like that. And back then, people may wonder, why are you guys going live right now? This is not your normal showtime, and that is true. But normally, after we do our show, I go and get children from places and drive them other places. I can't have bourbon in my nogs if I'm driving people places. So Jennifer's like, why don't we do it a
Why
little
don't we
later
do
where
it?
you
I know.
don't
It's
have
like,
to
at
drive
what
children?
point in time do you not have to drive your kids?
Never. When I'm dead. That's the real answer. But not for a while, and they don't have to go anywhere today. So I'm like,
So that's very
you're all
good.
home
So
for now?
yeah.
Like, okay, good. We're here.
Well, I love it. I love being able to celebrate eggnog and drink fun drinks with you. It's been quite a year, highs and
It's been
lows.
crazy. We've had like highs, lows, firsts. I tried to go early and you're like, put it away till later. Is you have some kind of giant news with your cover reveal. Jennifer has been practicing because she has a ring light on and she wants to make sure that you all see her amazing cover, which you haven't already seen it on Facebook, then you're not paying attention. But her cover
Yeah, it
for
was everywhere.
Perfect Wives, Perfect
Perfect.
Lies.
So, because like I
Yes.
physically don't have a book yet, it's still on my tablet. So
it's gorgeous.
I love this cover. The cover reveal was yesterday, so it was and I just want to take a moment, and I think I posted this earlier. I would just like thank everybody. Thank you, Allison. Thank everybody that I've met through Vox Vomitus and just in general who shared the cover, who celebrated with me. Yeah. It was fun and it was amazing. And so thank you all. It's very appreciated. I will be bothering everybody again in a few weeks when my pre-orders go live.
Because right now we have a cover and you have a thing we can look at on your Kindle, but not an actual Kindle book to buy or a hardcover just yet. So you will be looking for links when they come out so we know where to buy it from. And I don't know. I always ask my author friends, like, where do you want me to buy it from? So make sure you put that in there because I'm always like, where do you want it to show up? Because I know sometimes it matters in terms of pre-orders at certain places and it makes a difference between whether somebody does like a special edition somewhere. I often do buy more than one copy.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes they haven't decided yet. So sometimes they look at the pre-orders and go, oh, you're going to do this or that later. And in pretty much everybody's book, I have like a physical copy, an audio copy. Sometimes I have a loaner copy. I have extra copies.
Yeah,
so.
I do that as well. I will tell people already. So my local indie bookstore is Gibson's Bookstore in Concord, New Hampshire. That is where I will be having my book launch way out in September.
Toast to Gibson's.
Toast to Gibson's. So they also ship and you can order online through Gibson's. So when this happens, that's the way to get personalized signed copies. And there is going to be swag. I'm going to try my hardest if people send me, even if they don't order through Gibson's, if they order through Amazon, if they send me proof of their order and their address, I will send out swag.
I'm like, the swag's not going to be bottles of wine because I'm pretty sure that's illegal thanks to
going to be
laws.
Stickers and maybe some
but not actual wine.
Yeah, there might be some other fun stuff, but like predominantly, like what I'm working on now is really fun stickers. So yeah, that'll be available for pre-orders and personalized copies through Gibson's. So yeah.
So what I'm hearing is order through Gibson's, and then if you have another local bookstore, that's and also order an ebook. And I know for me, I will probably also order it through some of my local places so that they have it in stock too, because the West Coast doesn't know who you are yet, and we need to change that. And I'm still like, my Santa list, it will get longer as we go on, but my Santa list includes Jennifer having an LA area book party launch because I would like you here.
I would love that.
I cannot guarantee, but I would, there are some LA area authors I would be like, come hang out with Jennifer with me, like Sarah Langan and Phil for coffee.
You know, and the thing with I'm manifesting. So Sarah Langan, who I love, and she was on our show this year. It was her third time on the show. She has a book coming out in the fall, I believe in September, which is also weirdly when my book comes out. Her book is called Trad Wives. My book is called Perfect Wives, Perfect Lies. It does have like the concept of trad wives in it, but it's dark, and Sarah's book is dark.
Dark.
So Honestly, I feel like that would be, if I could manifest an LA event, I would love to put that out there into the universe. Like, I think Sarah Langan and I would be fun conversation partners.
Well, she's amazing in person because one of my highlights from this last year was getting to go to the Culver City Book Festival. And she was there, and a lot of other live authors were there. And I got to meet some authors like CJ Lee and Philip Fracassi. And I'm like, hi, do you remember me? You probably don't remember me. It's been a couple years, but he vaguely did remember me. He came back on the show, and he's awesome. So it was really cool to meet him in person. And that was a great event. So Sarah, also amazing in person. And she signed my Caladrius. So I have, the rare mythical bird signed by the author. Like,
I love it.
Merch that doesn't normally exist.
I know. Yeah, you had such a, like, you've met people I've never met. I've met Philip, but I haven't met Sarah or CJ. Did you meet Chuck Tingle?
He was there, but he was wearing his mask the whole time. So did I don't know. Like, I met somebody who said he was Chuck Tingle, but I didn't actually talk to. Yeah, I think it was Chuck. I don't think it was Chris Pine. I don't think there's any truth to that rumor. They don't sound anything alike.
No, and they have different.
Look more carefully at their mouths.
So I did.
I will Chris Pine's mouth.
I'll be honest. I did a side by side comparison of Chris Pine in shorts and Chuck Tingle in shorts, and the legs are different.
You've taken it too far.
The knees are different.
Taken it too far. But yeah,
I know. I was like, this is things you do when you should be writing. I'm like, I've got it like blown up big on my computer, and I'm like,
you're like,
why am I doing this? Okay.
Because someone came with that theory. For people who are like, what are you talking about? There's a theory that Chuck Tingle, who always wears these masks over his face that are equivalent to Fiyero in his like scarecrow potato sack, is secretly Chris Pine. And I don't know where that started or any of that, but really there's going to be people who are not going to believe it until we get both of them in a live event together and people can like touch them both and then hear both of them speak to make sure it's not like, well, it really still is Chris Pine and that is Jonathan Bailey. I don't know that it could be Jonathan Bailey under there. I don't know. But yeah, I got to meet, I'm trying to think, I guess it was just this past year, but I think it may have even been the year before when I got to meet May Cobb and and Eliza Jane Fraser. But that was last year. But I feel like it's only been recently that I've actually gotten to like be out in the wild and see people. And the most recent one, which was amazing, was getting to meet Tananarive Due at a local public light. Like, of all the things, it wasn't even like a paid event. It was the public library. So my hat's off. I'm not wearing a hat to the Anaheim Public Library for their really awesome, it was like spine chilling or something like spine tingling event, but it was their Halloween-ish event. And they had her come in and give away books to everybody. Like, I stupidly bought a book ahead of time because I wanted her to sign it. And I didn't realize the library's like, and you get a copy and you get a copy.
That's
and those
incredible.
Were nice. Mine was hardcover, so I'm still like, I'm glad I got my own. Thank you, because I'm just too much.
Then you can, extra. I love that. I'm glad you're starting to be able to get out there and meet people. It's always just so much fun to meet people that we've had on the show and people we want to have on the show.
Yes, and I got the here's your contact to have Tananarive on, and I can't wait to have her on. We just haven't actually gotten her on because it was relatively recently that I got to meet her. And we often, people may not know this, but we often are booked months in advance based around release days and all that stuff. And Jennifer's travel, because Jennifer travels a lot.
A little bit. So
because of that, we try to organize, because we usually know when people's books are coming out and all that. So we try to get them on if they're doing like a new release near that. So we don't.
And so we have time to read it too. So
yeah, that's kind of the thing that not everybody does when they're talking to book people, which is kind of weird. I don't understand how somebody be like, I'd love to talk to you about your book. I know nothing about it.
Yeah. So I will say a few years ago, I met, and this kind of brings us back to this year, I met at Gibson's bookstore Chuck Wendig. And I had been, friends with him on Instagram and Facebook and all the places, not Twitter.
Everything but Twitter.
For a while, but I never knew him. So I met him. He was at a signing with Clay McCall-Chapman, who we love. And it was there at Gibson's. And I was like, please come on Vox Vomitus. And he was like, of course. And it finally worked out this year,
Yes, this past summer.
so this is like another, like, he was one of those authors that you and I have been wanting to get on the show. But again, timing is weird. Like, books come out and we're already booked and blah, blah, blah. And Chuck writes really thick books. So
He
these
writes
aren't books that you can just be
doorstops.
like, oh, we have him Wednesday. It's Sunday night. I have enough time to read this book. No. Like, I'm finally listening to Wanderers.
Oh, you're finally doing that? Okay, yeah, because that
And
one's
it's
a
40
commitment.
hours.
Yeah, and that's the first of two. So you kind of read both. And I those were the first of his I read, and I just fell in love with his voice and his style. And I was like, can we please have him on the show soon before I lose my mind? And it took a while yet because I still had time to read his writing book, Black River Orchard, his book about apples, the one that
Black
makes him
River
always do
Orchard about apples.
apple themed product reviews, which he does, which cracks me up. He's like, I'm trying this apple treat. So getting to have him on was just amazing. But he wasn't the only dream that we manifested this year, or somehow made come true through some kind of process that I don't know.
And it wasn't even like, normally we get guests sent to us through publicists.
Yes.
And then we get guests that we approach through benevolent stalking.
Yes.
Or just like, like being in the writing community and being mutuals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we have for years wanted the great, the amazing, and this just happened, Stephen Graham Jones. So when we talked to him last week, so when his publicist reached out to me for the re-release of Night of the Mannequins, I lost my mind. And it was great. So Allison and I were so excited. She was like still binging books up until like the last minute, re-listening to Night of the Mannequins. And then we knew he'd be like booked solid. He was like booked solid all day doing interviews. So we had him for 30 minutes.
That was exactly.
Like hard stop. And if people who watch our show on the regular, we can go on tangents. So Allison and I were like, let's be concise, let's be normal, let's be professional.
We tried.
All I'm going to say was in like the first 3 minutes, we were concise and professional, but within the first 3 minutes of the show, I pulled out a mannequin arm and Allison had like a big thing of peanut butter. And if you read his books, and a band hat, and
it'll make sense.
It'll make sense if you,
was it though?
It all makes sense. But we couldn't let our prop comedy roots die.
But to be fair, then I feel like we need to have another half of that show. He doesn't have to be here, where we talk about all the things that we were trying to like stay focused in, so we didn't. So like one of the things I wanted to talk about was fan casting the live adaptations of all of his books, which of course is like, that is not a question I probably could have gotten away with asking him. I asked a question about predestination. Who even am I? But that's what I did.
And I will say, like, you're not supposed to. Like, you get told like not to fan cast as the author.
You're not supposed to do it, because then they're like, but then if the author says, and then that person can't do it. Half the time, I know what I end up doing with fan casting, which is hard anyway, is most of my fan casting would never work, because the people are too old for the parts, because I'm old. So the people I'm thinking of with, like, they would have been great 25 years.
100%. Like, exactly. Like, when I think of people, I'm like, I think of them when they were like the hot young actor or whatever. And I'm like, now they are older than that. And they don't quite fit the like 30 something that I might be writing about.
That's probably not the same age group that they would read for. And I understand that's the case, but for the life of me, I would love to see Amber Midthunder as Jade Daniels. And I don't know if you know who Amber Midthunder is, but if anybody saw her in Prey, I saw her before that in
Legion. Was in Prey.
She's just amazing, and she could totally pull off like the attitude and everything. Only problem is, besides she's probably a little out of the age range now, she's not short enough, because like I always figure Jade is probably part of our 5'2" crew.
Yeah,
or
I feel
even
like
shorter.
She's tiny. She's like a short, spunky ass kicker. Like that's how I think of her. But no, I agree, that would be perfect fan casting.
Yeah, and I have a ton of others, and part of it is also sometimes you just get a person in your head, and then as you're hearing it, you're like, this is totally them. So I also have a suggested fan casting for Letha Mondragon, but that's another that's another one that we won't go there. But regardless, I would love to see a lot of Stephen Graham Jones's work adapted, primarily because I would love to see Indigenous or Blackfoot, like specific actors getting cast in these roles, because I want to see diverse stuff out there. And so, hey, when you adapt diverse books, you cast a vast sprinkle. It's
exactly fun. And I feel like his books are so multi-layered, and I really want a My Heart is a Chainsaw TV series, like, because I want to, like, it has to be, or like at the very least, like 3 limited series, one for each book.
Right, one per book. Yeah,
I love it. But even like, I feel like Buffalo Hunter, that if it was like pared down to a 2.5-hour movie, you would lose so much. Like, that needs to be like a Mike Flanagan-esque.
Mike Flanagan,
like, not necessarily Mike, but like a Mike Flanagan-esque type of like beautiful, serious horror.
I don't watch a lot of the shows that some of my relatives watch that are always set in like middle of America, set with a lot of land. I feel like there's even a show just called Land right now, where it's just about the middle part. There's the audience right there, because you already have the flat open plains, stick some buffalo on there, longleaf weasel plume, and we're good. But that's what I would enjoy seeing. But again, like, no one actually, first off, I kept professional when that was happening, and no one asked me my Christmas list last week. But now it is Christmas time, and now I can have my Christmas wishes, starting with that. Like, give me shows.
Give me shows. I'm tired of rewatching Pretty Little Liars.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
I was gonna say, don't lie to my face and tell me you're not watching Pretty Little Liars anymore.
I'm currently not watching it right now.
I will say, one of my best friends from high school that I haven't gotten to talk to very much, but I've gotten to reconnect and be more in communication with, has recently started reading Twilight. She's like, don't hate me. And I'm like, okay, look, I'm not judging, but I will start sending you the memes that my other friends who are already Twilight addicts, it's like, we send each other, including ones with like the werewolf displays for Halloween, that people are just like, Bella, come back, Luca. And it's like, they've all turned the werewolves into Jacob. I'm like, there's like a whole cottage industry of Twilight nonsense out there. So if you start reading it, I will send it to you. And no, I haven't read them, but I appreciate the nonsense.
I did read them, and I remember it was when they, like, kind of, not really when they first came out, because I binged all of them, but they came out, I feel like they came out pretty close to each other. I was really, really sick. I remember I had the flu, and at that time I had a blog that had like a pretty decent readership, and I posted on my blog like, hey, I'm real sick, so I won't be, because I blogged every day, I won't be around. And one of my longtime readers sent me a private message, and she was just like, if you feel comfortable, can I have your address? I want to send you something. And I had known her long enough, and she sent me all of the Twilight books.
She's like, here you go.
And it was a note that said, like, I know you're stuck in bed. These are easy, fast reads. They're like dumb enough that even with a high fever,
you'll follow it.
You'll follow it. And I was like, and I will be honest, I really enjoyed them.
And you know what? Everybody I know it might have been the fever, but everybody I know who has read them just raves about them. So like, I don't hate on those books for anything other than, I mean, why did they make the movie so fast? So the actors didn't age out of looking young enough, or have their careers get big enough so they go, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm off to win Oscars. Excuse me. Goodbye. Okay. But Michael Kozlowski, who I refuse to call Mike Wazowski, even though I really, really want to, who was recently on our show and we adore, says he needs an adaptation of I Was a Teenage Slasher. So do I. I don't know who we'd cast as Tolly Driver, because again, he's probably 40 by now. And we're like, wait, no, we need a teenager.
Exactly. I'm just like, Pacey?
Pacey's our age. Are you kidding me? Pacey's like almost probably a grandpa.
My reference is
Joshua Jackson. But no.
So, Mike, I'm so glad you commented, because I was going to say another one of our firsts this year is we had 2 authors on our show that wrote nonfiction, and Mike was one of them. Mike and Jerry Drake.
And then Jerry Drake. And I mean, I feel like it was very much so within our vein of nonfiction, because we had Twin Peaks inspired crime. Like, yeah, we had already done a Twin Peaks devotional show with, dressing as a log lady and also dressing as a waitress. and then we had Josh Malerman as Laura Palmer, because that's what we do around here. So that felt also in brand. And Mike Kozlowski did a book about Bigfoot. So again,
it was on brand for us.
Fiction, nonfiction. Yeah. I loved it, and I was just like, Jennifer was trying to talk me into, oh, we're gonna have on a show. It's okay though, but it's about Bigfoot. I'm like, cryptids, and she's like, calm down.
Yeah, I'm glad you were into it. So yeah, like
puppets, cryptids, crime. I'm here.
Crime, love it all. Yeah, the things like the guests I wanted to talk about this year, because we can't talk about everybody, was I wanted to mention obviously Chuck and Stephen Graham Jones, because they were our first time on the show. I wanted to mention Mike and Jerry, and the other two people I wanted to mention were actually, because we've known these two writers for so long. It was our dear friend Robin Green, who is on the show for The Dramatic Life of Jonah Penrose, and our dear friend Chella Currington, who is on the show for Janet Hall. And we have known them. It's going to be 6 years of which I know isn't a long time, but it's a long time because we were all not Chella.
It was during COVID. So
during COVID, we were baby writers. Right,
it's a decade.
Yeah. And we were baby writers. You and I met in a pit mad, but support group.
And I think
and
one
you
of
had
those
already
is
known
what
Robin.
led me to Robin. But that's the same kind. Like some of those groups spread out to other groups. So honestly, I'm not sure which Facebook page I first met Robin and Frances White. And these are some people who I've known since way back then and now have books out and multiple books out. And it's just been amazing seeing the careers taking off and getting to see cover reveals. And at some point, I'm just kind of a row of I know them, which seems kind of tacky, but I'm going to do it. I know these people, not just, oh, I've had them on. These are my people. These people text me on the regular. And if I have them sign it, it's because they actually signed it and they know who I am. And it wasn't just yes, what's your name? That's nice. Thank you for reading.
Yeah.
Not that those aren't lovely. They are, but it's special, especially the number of books. And yours doesn't fit in this category. I'm not mad. But books where I'm the first person who's read the book, even before the person's agent in some of these cases.
Yeah.
Jennifer's, I still haven't read any of it. She's it might change. So hold up. So I'm waiting for the copy that I can absorb. And I know a lot about it, but I haven't actually read it. So I think, gimme.
So shortly before we went live today, I did get my editorial letter from one of my amazing editors. And I was like, don't read it right before the show.
But you did anyway.
I read most of it. I didn't read, I read,
I
read the part that said what's working. So I read all of that. And then I skimmed the rest, things I already knew, things that I got as notes from way back a million years ago when somebody else was trying to acquire it and it ended up not getting acquired. The notes that she gave me came right back around. I'm
did she just forward them? You might want these because this is still my thought process here.
Yeah. So I'm these are not shocking. But yeah, so it was a good editorial letter. I'm going to have my work cut out for me like everyone does for the next 6 weeks.
Right. But then we'll be able to pre-order the book and it comes out. Do you have this official, September, but it's a specific day in September?
September 8th.
September 8th. Okay. I will.
That is release day. And I will say pre-orders, I got the message. They're going to start going out in the world. It takes a while for them to kind of populate everywhere and be on every bookstore site, between the 5th and the 8th of January. So I will let people know.
Take your Christmas money once, buy the book.
Yeah. Once it's actually everywhere. So I'm not because usually it populates to Amazon first. And I know
people,
which is fine.
There are a lot of people who that's not their preferred seller, and we like to support. I had the most random thing because I'm trying to, for my other life, I have an office, and we recently moved offices, and my office is so plain it looks like the empty college dorm room without anybody's little posters that you buy from the little place down the street with the little I think we all had it with the girl being knighted, like knighting the.
Oh,
yeah, we all had the same college stuff and like the Starry Night. I didn't have that one, but we all had like the same 7 posters because they only sell 7 posters. I don't want that in my office, but I was like looking for stuff like that, and I don't want to go on Amazon, but trying to follow small creators. Like, let's support small creators, and I was getting nowhere. So it's still a task for like actual Christmas present for me. But there are people who, you know, maybe that's not their preferred place. We want to support.
And I just feel like I still have to use Amazon for a lot of things because I live in the middle of nowhere and there's like literally no stores. But I try to get my books other places. Like if I can go small, I'll do it. But I know people would get excited if I was like, the pre-order's live. And if it was only at Amazon, like I know people who want to order it right away, and they would order it at Amazon and then they'd go, oh, I should have waited until it was.
I should have waited 10
2 more days. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And
I know
I've done it too when people have announced their pre-order and it's like,
yeah, you're like,
I look, boop, done it. I'm the first one who ordered it.
And then also they often have like the sales where the pre-orders, and you find out everybody who's having a book come out because they all come out of the woodwork going, sorry to bother you, but my book's coming out. If you want to buy it on the pre-order, you can get a sale. It's like all the books coming. But then it's also fun because then you get books that you forgot you ordered because you don't keep track of it. You're like, I got a book. I forgot about this. Yay for me.
I ended up when another guest that we have never had on the show, who I really would like to, Grady Hendrix. I remember when Witchcraft for Wayward Girls came out this year, I ended up with, I think, 3 copies, maybe more. Because
did you listen to it? Because I listened to it. So did you also have an audio copy? You're like, here are all the books that I didn't actually read because I just listened to it on my headphones.
Because I bought a hardcover because I wanted to have it on my shelf, but then for whatever reason I bought the audio too, like at the same time, which is like I kind of do that normally for some books. And then I forgot I had ordered like 2 special editions from 2 different places for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls.
Oops.
So I did, I have friends local to me that are also fans of Grady Hendrix. So it was very easy for me to be like, this one's signed. They're like, what?
I was thinking of you. I wasn't thinking at all, actually.
And I'm glad I give them away because I am moving.
Yes, I was going to say, you have certain boxes just full of one author's work, so
Grady
you don't want it just full of one actual book. Like, this is just one book. I forgot how many I bought.
And so I have like 90% of my books packed now, and there are 34 boxes. So many boxes, like that and clothes. That's the problem.
I will say, eventually I want to get to the point where I'm like that in buying books again. And I was one of the diehard audiobooks don't count as reading. I love so much that I listen to everything now because I do have some books that I physically wanted. And there was one book that we'll get to in a second that I wanted to read with my eyes. I felt like I needed to eyeball read it and not listen to it. But I do like that because then it means I don't have 8,000 boxes of books if we ever move or whatever. Because if I had every physical copy of every book that I've bought this way,
that's
a lot of books.
Well, I did a lot of ebooks before we moved into this house because I just had no space at all. But then when we moved where we are now, there were built-in bookcases in the walls that were like the entire wall was bookcase.
They're asking for it. Then I was like, filled. You can't leave them empty. That's rude.
It would look weird because you can't like take them down. So I was able to buy books. People were giving me books. I love it. I've always been a book collector. There have been 2 times in my life that I was like so penniless, about to be homeless, that I literally had to sell every book I owned just to like have money to survive. So like, I feel like, you know, knock on wood, Roman and I are like, we're never going to have to do that again.
Yeah.
So I packed 34 boxes of books.
Well, and I still have a little bit of, I wouldn't say seller's remorse, but a little bit of seller's remorse in that I had like all of Discworld Terry Pratchett's books. Sir Terry Pratchett. I had all of them. And it's like, I'm not going to read them again. I don't have space. At the time I was living in an apartment and I sold them to Bookman and I'm sure they were very, very happy. We love Bookman, local bookstore that's like 90% used. But do I regret it? Yes, I've read. I'm like, I want my Discworld's back. But the book that I was saying that I had to eyeball read, and for those who listen, they know that I'm almost always, listening to an audiobook, was Daniel Krause's Angel Down. Because
and I have not read it yet, but I have a physical copy.
You gotta buckle in. You gotta buckle in. You have to be ready. Like, have a few more of these before you start.
Well, I know, like, I had to be in the right mindset. I can't, like, so I have a tiny stack of books that I haven't packed because I was like, I don't exactly know when we're moving, sometime in the next couple months. I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood for vibe wise to read. So I have like a stack of like vibey books. And I feel like
you're going to be doing edits. I don't want you reading that during edits. First off, because for people who are like, what's the big deal with this book? It's all one sentence. And it's not all one sentence because there is punctuation in there and there's like dialogue in there. So it's not technically all, but it's all one sentence. So also on my list for Christmas, Dear Santa, I would like a movie done in a one shot of that. Totally impossible. I understand this is impossible. I have no thoughts about the casting, but I would like it done in a one shot. Make it happen.
I'm obsessed with one shots ever since 1917, and then watching Adolescence, which each episode was a one shot, and it was like,
it is such a powerful technique when it's used properly. And there was part of an episode of Mr. Robot that was a one shot that is just phenomenal to watch. And to imagine that entire movie or the entire book done as a one shot, it would be the only way to really do it, to capture that. But again, I feel like people would need to maybe take some kind of sedative first to be able to handle it. Because I mean, people talk about like the opening scenes of Saving Private Ryan, but that's just the opening. But this would be like, no, it's the entire movie. It does not stop ever. But it's one of those books, like, I feel like I have a list of books that destroyed me this year. So thank you for the books that destroyed me. And The Reformatory by Tananarive Due destroyed me nice and good. Angel Down came back. Like, I just kind of gotten over that part, and then I got knocked down again by that. Recently, Nicholas Binge's Dissolution just threw me for a complete loop, and I'm mad at myself because I have it in an ebook and I need to go get a physical copy of that now so I can reread it. And Robin Greene's like dramatic life of Jonah Penrose just managed to throw me, like, but it's like a different kind of destroy. Like, I'm not mad at her for destroying me in that way. Okay, and Amanda says 1918 was a one shot, so there you go.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yep.
Yeah. So we love the one shots. We know they're incredibly difficult for everybody, from the actors, the directors, to obviously everybody who's like, don't get that camera in the way of that camera. As we did. I'm not a movie person. I don't know how to do any of that. I'm just impressed by it and go, ooh, do it again.
I can't even remember. Like, I feel like it's always such a blur with what I've read in a year. Like, I'm like, when did I read The Reformatory? I feel like I read it last year. I know the book that destroyed me.
You probably did.
Yeah,
because I just read it it was like turn of the new year. So you had already read it by then. So it wasn't.
So I know I read Witchcraft for Wayward Girls this year, and that destroyed me in a good way. I mean, I like to be destroyed. I read the book A Little Life for fun, but I think I did that last year. The other book that destroyed me this year that I absolutely loved was All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. Did you tell me about that one?
Okay, I need to add that to my list.
It is. I have not stopped thinking about these characters. It's kind of a mystery, kind of a thriller. It's literary fiction. It's so good. Like, it's literally about a little boy who tries to save a girl who was kidnapped, and then he gets kidnapped. He tries to and then he's held in a dark room where he can't see anything for 3 months with another girl that he becomes like best friends with.
Okay, and then I don't need to read that.
No, it's like, but this is like the very beginning. And it's the story about what happens when he gets out. And it spans from when he's a little boy until, he's like 40, 50. It's the story of this small town. And it is absolutely breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. So that destroyed me. A Witchcraft for Wayward Girls and King Sorrow by Joe Hill.
Yes, that's on my TBR. And it's funny because since starting this show, otherwise known as since knowing you, my my reading list has skewed so much more horror than it used to, that instead of like, okay, and then might do a horror now and then, I actually have to physically be like, okay, now just stop reading horror, read something else, and then go back to it. And I'm currently reading something that is not horror. I'm kind of up in the air about how I feel about it so far. So I'll leave it aside for which one I'm currently reading to.
In case it's
my
like
opinion
that.
Till later.
I will say King Sorrow isn't. I know people. It's horror.
Is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's horror, but I don't know what kind of subgenre.
I feel like, I mean, it is about a dragon, so like it could, like, it borders on like a dark fantasy.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I don't love things like dragons and all that stuff, that I was like, I don't know if I want to read this. I had I got it through NetGalley, so I had it. And I was like, is it going to be good? Is it going to be good? And then I saw all these people who I love and respect blurbing this book and raving about it before it came out. And I was like, well, if, I remember it was Chris Golden. He was just like, this is the defining book of his career. It is so good.
Ooh,
and I'm like,
praise.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to read it. And it blew my mind. I was like, I'm glad he took 10 years to write this. Wow. It was... I keep telling people, I'm like, it's like if Donna Tartt's The Secret History had a dragon.
Like the best pitch.
And people are like,
that's actually one I I only recently read that one. I'm trying to remember when I read it, if I read it before or after I read The Reformatory, because it was like, okay, I know I need to read this. I know it's a book that like everyone talks about, and I loved it. But I think it was last year for me that I had read that. But I do feel like every year there's been like an author whose work I've just done a deep dive. And this year for me, it was totally Stephen Graham Jones. I know last year we're like, I'm reading everything Ronald Malfi has ever written. And we still need to have him on the show. So I'm done asking. I'm going to just ask Santa, just put him in the bag and drop him on my doorstep. That's not allowed, but that's what
so in February 8th, maybe, I am doing a Barnes & Noble event in Connecticut with a bunch of female horror writers, one from every state in New England. And I'm wondering if he might be there.
He's not a female horror author, but
no,
he knows
but like, he knows them.
He might be at the event. If so,
yeah, he'll probably know them because it's for Rebecca Rowland's.
Yeah, it's book. Like it's probably gonna be there.
So he might be there. So if he's there, I will bother him again. Last time I talked to him, the only time I've talked to him really, besides like in passing, we were having drinks after the Spooktastic Book Festival this year. Rebecca Rowland, Ron Malfi, my husband Roman, and I, and a couple cocktails in, I was like, "You need to be on Vox Vomitus," and he did say yes. I feel like he said yes.
He said yes, but a couple of cocktails, you can't hold anybody to promises made a couple cocktails in. Also, that's when she starts using like her drink as a microphone. Tell about your books, sir. And he's just like, well, that would actually be pretty funny. But I feel like we generally are more or less sober when we do this. We're like, I haven't even finished this, and it was mostly eggnog, but. Again, we don't hold people to promises made in drunken bars after working a booth for 10 hours, because that's cruel and unusual punishments. You are not in good conscience making that choice.
But I feel like it's only a matter of time before we can get him on the show.
Yes, it would be lovely.
Yes. And before we wrap things up today, Allison, with your fan of audio, you're such a fan of audiobooks. This year, you had an audiobook.
I did. It was one of those things where for years we'd talked about doing it, and my former agent talked about making it happen, didn't happen. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I asked a friend of mine who does narration to do it. So my friend Deanna Guillermo went ahead and narrated it for me, and she nailed it. So anybody's like, I've been waiting for these to come on audio. Well, the first one is. That's the only one I've done so far. I don't know if we'll do the rest, but hopefully we'll get around to it, because she does a lovely job, and everybody likes audiobooks. I know that's anybody who doesn't have time to sit and read has time to do the dishes and listen to a book. It doesn't take that much brain power to do the dishes.
It's really, honestly, it's changed the way I think about doing laundry, and it's changed the way I think about. Like,
I don't mind it so much. Yeah.
like meal prep, like chopping vegetables and stuff like that, where I was like, oh, I'm so bored. Now, as long as the book is good.
I would worry about chopping vegetables during certain books because, especially if they get bloody, I'm like, oh no, I cut off my finger too. Ah.
I will say I have a very distinct memory of chopping vegetables in my kitchen, and I was listening to Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House, and there is like a needle and an eyeball thing,
boy.
and I'm like chopping, and I'm like,
visuals.
I'm so woozy.
You're gonna fall over, and then you fall on the knife.
And like when you're listening to an audiobook, you can't like skip. Like
no.
when I'm
and
reading
sometimes
something,
if
I'm
your
like,
hands
ooh.
are busy, like I often have it happen where I'm like, stop talking to me, because I need to pause it because my hands are all wet and I have to go dry my hands before I can do it. And the book doesn't care that I'm still talking. I'm sure there are fancier headphones that know that. Mine is the kind where I fall asleep and have to then back up 17 chapters because I had the book playing. Yes, I do that a lot. I have to guess where I was. And then I go, I listened to this part already. I'll start here again.
Well, I think we should wrap up for tonight.
I'll go drink the rest of this later.
Go drink the rest of this. I don't know when our next show is going to be because, as I said, I'm moving and editing.
You're moving, so we didn't want to schedule and then have to move somebody's show. Going, oh, just kidding. Jennifer's not even in a place.
Internet, and I have no.
She's no internet. She's in her car.
Yeah.
I dare you to try to do it. Like you'll be like in a city, so they have probably a coffee shop. I dare you to try to do it from a crowded coffee shop. That'd be hilarious.
I was on a podcast once, and the host was in a crowded coffee shop.
Okay, people don't do that. I mean, I know
think
that
it was
we're
like the
doing
vibe
it from our houses, but
yeah, it was weird.
That's like I can just imagine somebody just grinding beans in the background.
I mean, and that's what was happening.
Yeah,
and you could like hear people's names being called out for their orders. I was like, okay, that's strange.
Your order's up.
Your order's up. But you know, it is what it is. We will be back soon with soon
in the new year.
In the new year. Nothing until then. But I will pop onto the Vox Vomitus page when my pre-orders are live. Yeah, and until then, cheers to everybody who has made this show another great year. I have lipstick all over this cup.
That's why I was doing a straw mostly because I didn't want the bottom lip to be red here from me doing that. So
I know my cup is like weird shape, so a straw wouldn't fit.
You're like, it would not fit.
It would just pop right out. But yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you for celebrating the Eggnog Extravaganza with us, and we will see you all soon.
2026.
2026. Read books. Read more books.